Fall, every deer hunter's favorite time of the year. It's a time where hard work managing your land during spring and summer months pays off. At this time, deer seek forage that will help them put a layer of fat on before the cold weather arrives. Meaning, if your fall food plots are at the top of their game, you're in for one heck of a hunting season.
If you caught the previous episode of the off-season where I provided a general breakdown of our spring food plot strategy, then you may be able to guess the direction of this episode. That's right, we're talking all about fall food plots today, including what we like to plant, the design of our plots, and even the deer activity we see during this time of the year on our farm. This will once again be a very general breakdown of our ideas and strategies when it comes to fall food plots. Whether your hunting ground is just a few acres or a few hundred, having high quality forage at this time of the year can be the biggest factor when it comes to being a successful hunter. In order to understand what forages white-tailed deer prefer at the different stages of the fall and winter seasons, we first need to discuss their tendencies at these times. Towards the end of summer and at the beginning of fall, deer are gearing up for breeding season, or as we call the rut. This means whitetails are packing on as many pounds as possible before that magical time of the year, which for us here in PA is around the 1st of November. Bucks will often gain 25 to 30% of their body weight within the last 45 days leading up to the start of the rut. More specifically, deer are usually feeding heavily during the cool evenings and several times throughout the night. Attractive food sources during this time include acorns, soybeans, alfalfa, fruit trees, and other green fields, making it very important to include these in your fall food plot strategy. However, once the first hard, killing frost occurs in your area, deer will switch forages rather quickly. Soybean forage will turn yellow, clovers will resort to seed development and stop growing, leading them to be less palatable to deer. At this point, forages like wheat, oats, and brassica take over, as deer begin to exert energy during the rut and begin to fatten up for the harsh winter months. This pattern will pretty much hold true for the rest of winter. After the rut, the deer strictly focus on survival and will forage on anything they can find. This is another critical reason why fall food plots are so important. Not only do they provide nutrition during the fall, as well as great hunting opportunities, but they also provide forage throughout the winter months when the deer are the most stressed. When it comes to our farm, we categorize fall food plots in two different ways. First, we have kill plots, which are smaller food plots, mainly about a quarter acre or less, tucked back in key areas where deer love to travel. These plots are what we mainly hunt during the fall. The other type of food plot on our farm are what we call destination food plots, which are usually several acres and can be labeled as a key food source. This type of plot is usually something we do not hunt over, simply because of the size makes it so much more difficult to pattern deer and get them into range, especially in archery season. Due to the size of our kill plots, we tend to plant a mixture of seed featuring forages such as clover, oats, wheats, and brassicas. The clover is a great seed for these types of plots because it is a hardy plant and will grow where sunlight is limited and usually withstands heavy browse pressure. The same goes for wheat and oats, making this mixture perfect for smaller areas that receive high level of browse pressure. When we design these kill plots, we study the area by both putting boots on the ground and looking at topographical maps. This allows us to identify nearby bedding areas as well as mark off flat areas that could benefit a food plot like this. Also, when we design these plots, it is ideal to be in relative proximity of the major food source, such as a destination food plot. Deer will feel more comfortable hitting the smaller, tucked away food plots early in the evenings before making their way to feed in the larger plots closer to dark. This early deer movement provides a great hunting opportunity, one that we certainly take advantage of on our farm. Let's now talk about our larger food sources during the fall. Our property consists of mainly hills, valleys, and has very few flat open fields. This means every open area larger than a few acres turns into a destination food plot. Because of the shortage of farmable land, we rarely plant corn, which is a major food source during the fall and winter for most year-round farmland. The same goes for soybeans. However, we still try to plant a small section of beans in strategic spots that will offer great hunting opportunities. In order for this to work, we must fence off the beans while they grow to protect them from browse pressure, and then removing the fence during hunting season, allowing the deer to browse them and pull deer closer to your stands. This process has been full of trial and error along with a lot of hard work, but it's yet another way of implementing fall food plots into your hunting strategy. Our go-to forages for our larger destination plots are definitely the cereal grains such as wheat and oats, as well as brassicas. Mixtures of these seeds have produced some incredible food sources for our deer from fall all the way through winter. With brassicas in particular, the deer will browse the leafy greens when the temperatures drop and several hard frosts have taken place. Then, later in the winter, when the snow falls, they will dig up the brassica bulbs under the dirt. As we said in the beginning, this was just a very broad breakdown of our fall food plot strategy on our farm. We will definitely go into more detail in future episodes of the off-season. I hope you were able to gain some information from this episode that you can use on your hunting property this summer and fall. We cannot stress enough how important it is to have high quality forage year-round that is palatable for the deer in your area. This will not only attract and hold more deer in your hunting spots, but it will also build a healthier deer herd with so much more potential. Once again, thanks for watching another episode of The Off Season.